All right, everybody. My next guest is an actor, rapper, and writer who has been noted as the future of hip hop by industry greats like Questlove, showcasing his witty wordplay and some of the most complex rhyme schemes in contemporary rap. And aside from music, he has recently starred in the new horror film Bitch Ass that's streaming now on Apple TV and Amazon, and just in time for the Halloween season. Here he is, folks, the Fro Thrizzle himself. All flows reach out.
How are you, brother?
Bro, how you doing, my friend, man? How's it going?
I'm good, brother. I'm feeling good, man. Can't complain. Thank you, man.
Dude, you're doing it all now. You got music, TV, movies. How does it feel, man? Because I feel like as a spectator, as a fan, I feel like I've watched you kind of grow up through the years, and now you're really taking it by storm, man. How does that feel, man?
Yeah, man, it feels a little bit weird, kind of growing up a bit into the game and time flying by and being able to learn through the journey and stuff and learn things like performances and behind the scenes. And it's just, I'm real grateful, man. I'm real grateful that I'm able to keep going, that I'm able to that people are still interested in hearing the music. And that's why I'm really grateful for, because it's easy for people to be like, oh, it's cool, but, we'll move on. It's a really fast, attentive span going on nowadays. So I'm just grateful that people are still listening,
Yeah, man. I mean, you've been standing the test of time. It feels like yesterday, but it was like 2014. You're like 17 years old. The definition of a rap flow contest.
Hi, my name is Afro. What's up, y'all? I am a literal, lyrical little nigga with an ear full of peer, mirror, share, interfered, clear middlemen, flowing active, coping out with the coke bag, hold back, flow chance, shows growing in advance, knowing the fast, blowing the past, hoping and coping and knowing the dance, flowing and roaming and leaving us over the dope of the beat, the slow of the stand.
And you know what? I know I don't look it, but I rhyme too, and I was gonna enter in the definition of rap flow, right? But even then, 2014, I was still a little old for the game to be breaking in. But I was watching some of the competition, right? Watching the posts and all of that stuff, and there was that kid Jarvis, and you both of you really stood out, man. And then you could start to tell you were the front runner. RA had his eye on you, and the rest is history, man.
Hey, this is R.A. the Rugged Man, the one and only, and I'm here with Afro. He's one of the contestants of the definition of a rap flow contest. He destroyed his entry.
What's it like to kind of, in a way, be plucked from obscurity when you're 17 years old and get fast-tracked in and have somebody like R.A. believing in you?
Well, I'm happy I had it was like mentor protege kind of thing, I came from starting as a young guy inside of the room. I didn't, I made music over YouTube beats, over Wu-Tang beats, just kind of minding my own business in the room. So I didn't think I'd be able to get any further really than that, realistically. I was okay, I'll just be able to make the music, not asking for too much. I'll just focus on that. So when RA took me under his wing, when we first linked up, it was like way more than I can ask for, because I was just expecting me to when I first heard my entry, I just wanted him to hear the song, because everybody in the contest was trying to take each other's head off, rightfully so. And me, I was just like, I just want him to hear my joint. That's it. Like, I'm happy with that. And I got more than I asked for in the really best way. I was like, oh shit, and just got really blessed with it, and felt like a domino effect in a really good way. Like, that was the first piece, and then everything's choo, and then just everything started following up after that.
Right on, man.
Yeah.
Dude, when I was 17, I was rhyming too, and I'm from Brentwood, Long Island, not too far from where Ari's from, like Stony Brook. And
I have a good friend that's from Brentwood as well. Is Sean Lennon, yeah.
Sorry, I know Sean Lennon. Yeah. Knuckleheads, him and Tom J. I went to high school. I went to high school with those dudes, and EPMD and Craig Mack. I used to work with Craig Mack at Toys R Us and all that. So, so yeah, like as a 17, when I was 17, what you're living in, like my wildest dreams of that you would get discovered and then kind of like brought into the mix. You know what I mean? When you were younger, were you that kid? Like I remember young Eric Sherman in the lunchroom banging on the tables, freestyling cypher. Was that kind of what you were doing back in the day?
I didn't get to as much as I wanted to. I would have little moments where one of the earliest moments was I was in 6th grade and I was like, I didn't know really how to write. Like I remember 6th grade was the earliest memory of me trying to write. And I was in the middle of class and I had a good friend of mine, Andy. Andy was like another cool dude. He loved hip hop. He was like, yo, James, you heard this guy. And in the middle, we have like a little break in class. He's like, dude, you know, rap a little. That's just, now me and him were rapping a little bit. So that was one of the first memories I could think of as far as like school, like lunch tables or like those kind of sessions. Cause I didn't have much like that, like as much as I wanted to, the lunch banging the tables. But I did have little cool moments for like friends or like teachers would be like, hey, James, rap after the class or something. I'd be like, cool, that's all, you know. So I had moments like that were cool.
So you always knew you had that gift of kind of freestyling, being able to just put things together on the fly and kind of in the moment make, you know.
Yeah, that started around I would say 12 or 13 years old. I'd look at the TV, rap about the TV. I'd look for the random stuff where I have someone throw words at me and stuff, you know.
You already know that I'm hand snatching, black padding around me. A matter of fact, you flabbergasted, mad how to rap is astounding. Listen to water bottle, you swallow with all the follow. It's now it's $100 a track with an avocado. Listen within the notebook that I wrote previously, except it's freestyling at the moment, so you know what I'm devious.
Yeah, man. Because that's always been for me. I was never good off the dome. I would try, but then I would get into some corny shit. You know what I mean? Like it takes, man, it's a gift from God to be able to just float off the dome like that and just kind of and make it all make sense and then find the punchlines and just all that. You know, a lot of people don't understand. I mean, I think they know it's hard, but they don't realize how gifted that is to have that.
Thank you, bro. Well, it's a lot of work. I mean, I feel, you know, I feel like it is a talent, but I'm also influenced. Like it's a big mixed ball of like my own style, but a big influence of my favorite guys too. So when I put all my influences together in like a big, like mixed up ball, and you know, it's like when I freestyle, I'm trying to think of like different rhymes, different rhyme schemes from, you know, different people, my influences. So it's just, I'm just, you know, just a talent. I worked at it, you know.
When you're in the middle of a cipher and you're freestyling, how far ahead are you before you rhyme? Like how far is your mind? Like, let's say you're freestyling about, I don't know, a hat or something, and all the words rhyme with hat. How far ahead of you? Are you like 2 or 3 verses ahead, or is it really just coming as a wave?
When it comes to like on the spot freestyling, I just flow, like go with it. I'm not ahead of it. But if it's just a regular rhyme in a cipher kind of situation, then sometimes I will find myself being like, yeah, like I know what I'm gonna say kind of thing. Like I don't have a rehearsed rhyme, but I know exactly, you know, I know what I'm gonna kind of say. I have like a few steps ahead. But yeah, rhymes and ciphers are a little different because you can, like ciphers back in the day, you know, some people were kicking a rhyme they had in their head, or they're like, yo, I got a rhyme that's just like tucked in there somewhere. And it was like a not really off the top, but it was like it was a freestyle. It was a rhyme that they had something for else that just tucked away kind of thing, you know?
Right.
So,
yeah, because I talked to other freestylers through the years, and they just say they just kind of keep it just comes at them, that they just keep an open mind. They're not thinking. they said sometimes thinking could work against you.
Right.
Yeah, so that's just incredible to me, man.
And I'm all-rate the rugged man mixed with Sean Price, Jizza Mix, Rock, Kim, Kane, Pharaoh, Monch, Bon, Mike's, Kuba, Sadat, Jamar, Tip, Ali, and Fife, Nadia by nature, Tretch, Chip, Food, Chubb, in each line I'm G-rapping his prime with each track devout with.
So now, also, when you got in the game with RA taking you under the wing, what would some of the do's and don'ts that he taught you? Because he, we all know his career was kind of ups and downs and all around, and so he would know. He's definitely a good mentor to have to keep you away from some of the pitfalls and all that. So what was some of the advice he gave you?
Well, one of the first things I could think of is, get yourself, like he told me from the jump. He was like, hey, when you make certain deals, make sure you have a lawyer, make sure your business is straight, make sure everything's good. Before you make an agreement, make sure everything's good for you too. True fans, there's fake fans and true fans. True fans are going to stick by you as long as you keep giving them the love. You keep giving the true fans what they want, and you let them know that you have them you're by their side. But those are the two biggies I could think of that kind of helped me through the years, where I was like, yo, like I pay attention to, like, I see who really supports me. And not only that, I make sure that everything's good and before an agreement on like a big business deal or any business deal, make sure everything is all right. So
right on.
I would say those are two of the biggest ones I could think of right now.
Right on, man. And now you're a West Coast guy. You grew up in Cali, but you seem to have an East Coast vibe, East Coast sensibility about you. I could be wrong, but what some of the artists that inspired you?
Yeah, so 80, I would say 70 or 80% of my influences are from the East Coast. So G-Rap, Rakim, Daddy Kane, KRS-One, Killer Priest, Ghostface. I'm blanking right now, but those are a lot of my guys. Those are guys I studied. Busta's East Coast, so I would say those are my guys I studied for sure.
Yeah, man. Most of them all real lyrical MCs. You come from that lyrical background. What's your take on a lot of today's hip hop? Because you seem to have an old school sensibility too. You like the old school stuff. What's your take on the new stuff? Who's hot out there?
I'm not a big fan of the radio, but they're like underground hip hop or MC, like lyrical MCs are just straight up hip hop. It's still happening with the youth. Not only me, there's like MCs like, shout out my guy Khan. He spells it K-A-A-N. That's my guy. Like he's incredible, great MC, dope lyricist, and he's around my age. So I would say, man, Squabbles. We said Jarv is my guy.
Yeah.
We still exist. There's still lyricists out here that are under or 25 and under. We're still out here, but unfortunately, the radio is always going to overpopulate or overshadow in the public eye a good amount of times the underground, which is unfortunate. But there are times where the underground does get the shine, where the underground artist does get a good look or gets a good shine where they can show the world what they do. But yeah, that's what I could think of. It's just there are we do exist. There are great MCs out there that are younger that can spit, that can really spit.
Yeah, man, and there are a lot out there, like you said, and we do have to see some more rise to the mainstream and get that sound on the radio. Because pop is pop, whatever, for a reason. But and I always like the underground stuff's got a little more edge anyway. So but how important is it for young rappers or up and coming guys to know their history, to know the KRS-Ones and the Daddy Kanes? There's a lot. I feel like a lot don't even know who they are anymore.
Yeah, and personally, I think it's very important. I think it's extremely important to know where you come from. Where if you're rapping, that originates from something. That originates from Melly Mel or the early '80s, or you say Sugar Hill, but it originates from Pig damn, I'm forgetting his name. Is it Pig Feet Markham or Pigman Markham?
Oh yeah, Pygmy.
Pygmy
The
Markham.
early stuff. Yeah, Here Comes the Judge.
So
this judge is hip, and that ain't all. He'll give you time if you're big or small. Fall in line, or this coat is neat. Peace, brother. Here comes the judge. Here comes the judge.
So shit, that origin. I mean, even James Brown, you know, I could dig rapping, I could dig scrapping. Like,
right.
Even like they would like it's really important to know where that originates from or where the flavor we got it from. Like 70% of the maybe more beats back in the day were like James Brown samples, and you know the man was rapping himself. So I just think I don't want to go too off topic, but to me I think it's extremely important, man. Like a good example I could think of is John Coltrane. When he was young, he would go out, I believe he would go out to the jazz clubs and see who were the OGs playing the jazz, and Coltrane would be like, yo, that's incredible. I want to do what he's doing and add my own flavor to it. And that's the best. I feel like hip hop should be more like that. And you do see it, just not as much as it should, or not as you do see certain artists like showing roses to their favorite MCs. Like that's me all day. I show love to my favorite MCs all the time. But I just think if you're a new MC or if you're coming into the game, you're barely brand spanking new, and you want to learn and you want to learn about it, I really suggest like, yo, go back in time. Just, you know, YouTube, you can find fucking anything, or you can find damn near everything on here. So I'm like, yo, just put your hours in, and study. Just study as much as you can. Me, when I was a kid, I was studying the rhymes, I was studying the songs, I was studying the voices, I was studying their delivery, how a ghost face delivery is, how like all of that, and how fast a Buster or a Chip Fu is. Like I was really into the into the computer screen and into the pen. So I think it's extremely important. But that's personal. I know there's a good amount of people that are like, oh, fuck the old school or fuck the OGs. Like, I'm doing it my way. And I'm like, hey, if that's how you're doing it, whatever. But I suggest if you want to really sharpen your craft and you want to be knowledgeable about the rap you're doing, just study who came before you, or study the greats that, you know, that paved the way for you, that paved the way, you know.
Right on, man. I think it's very important to know the history, especially if you are an artist. You got to know where it came from, where it stemmed from. And a good way for new guys, younger guys, to do that is find your favorite rapper and then find out who influenced him, and then go back and then find out who influenced him and work it backwards. And then you'll probably get yourself all the way back to, like you said, like Melly Mel and those dudes from the real OGs. You know, you get like Kumo D or Grandmaster Caz or one of those type of dudes. And that's what's cool too about your story, man, is RA is like really into all the OGs and the early guys, and hangs around them and brings you into that fold. What's that like, man, when you're the young guy and you're there with like all these icons, these hip hop icons? Did you ever feel over your head, or did you feel like this is where I belong? How does that feel being a young cat?
Never over my head. I felt like extremely grounded the whole way, but I was a fanboy, you know. I was a fan first, you know. Like I would keep my cool and be like, I don't want to bother anybody, but if I'm around these OGs, I really love them. I listened to them in high school, and I listened growing up, listened to them. I'm like, yo, you know, I'm gonna say what I feel. I'm like, yo, I'm a big fan, you know, you fan first and all that stuff. But I was nervous, you know. I was nervous a lot of times too. It was just like, yo, I'm a new guy, feel like I got to prove myself. I was getting a lot of support from the beginning, so that helped a lot, and it made me feel pretty good. But was a lot of pressure too. You got to prove yourself. You're the new guy, you know. So,
yeah, man. Like
it was a mixed ball. It was like I was extremely grateful, and I felt like, whoa, like it was weird. It was like me being the attention, but I'm also the fly on the wall. I'm also like, yo, I'm just soaking this up and this journey, and just seeing and just stepping back and being like, wow, I'm in this fucking room, or wow, I'm with my guys, you know. It's crazy.
Yeah, man. It's a freaking great story and well deserved, man, because you got crazy skills. I love all all your music. You have a style and a flow that's real tight. Your voice, you got that kind of deep voice with that, and you just rhyme fast. At times.
Got him in the target, leave him dearly departed. The bombarded, the hardest steady, even the odds and God dogging. I'm the reason that the people are scared. And you peeps ain't ready when I declare warfare.
I'm just digging your whole style, man. And I know you just dropped your new album not too long ago, like September-ish, right?
I dropped a single. I dropped the first album single to the album.
Yeah, man.
My name is Afro, built like Tony Soprano. I'm half black folk and half El Mexicano.
So and now you're doing movies and TV, bro. So it's all snowballing into bigger, crazier things. Tell me about Bitch Ass. I watched the trailer for this thing. I got to watch the whole thing. It looks like one of those crazy it's like slasher films.
Good evening. This is the tale of the first black serial killer to ever don a mask.
Tell me about Bitch Ass and what can we expect from this movie in the Halloween season?
Yeah, so Bitch Ass was filmed in the heat of COVID, like 2 years, good 2 years ago. And there was always a release date for it that kept getting pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. And we're like, we weren't sure what was going on until finally came out. But overall, man, I really had an awesome time. It's an extremely low budget film. It was filmed with pennies in 2 weeks. So it does have a very cheap quality to it, but all bias aside, I really had a bunch of fun. If you like B movies, or if you like just, it's an all black horror film. So that was the first cast I was a part of where it was all black, but all black horror is something I think is extremely rare. It doesn't come across as much nowadays as usual. So it was very inspired by Tales from the Hood. I know the director loves Bone, so it has a Bone Snoop Dogg vibe. It's just that black horror vibe, but it's also I don't know if tongue in cheek is the right word, but there is a little comedic tone sprinkled around it, but the film does try to be serious at times too. And it was bloodier than I expected because I auditioned for the role. My talent manager Josh, he came across it, the audition. He was like, "Yo, I know the title's like throwing you off a bit, but audition and see if you can land it." So I did it. Director really liked it. And we knocked it out in 2 weeks, and it's just had a bunch of fun, man. it was a bunch of fun.
Then you watched it and it was like way more bloody than you expected it to be.
Yeah, because when I did the script, when I wrote the script, when I read the script, I was like, okay, this feels like Saw. This feels like I got the Tales from the Hood vibe from the script. I was like, oh, this has a Tales from the Hood kind of vibe.
Right.
And it was like that meets Saw kind of thing. And so I was okay. Looks like it's gonna be bloody, but sometimes I feel like movies, like, they're not as crazy as the script as far as violence. Sometimes they're like, okay, they try to scale it down a little bit in the actual film. So when I saw this, when they premiered it recently and I was watching in the screening, I was like, yo, this is bloodier than I thought it would be, which is cool because I love horror movies and I'm a blood and guts guy in the movies. So I love that stuff. So I was like, oh, dope. Like, it was cool being a part of this.
Right.
It was cool being a part of something like this.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I didn't want to get any spoilers, but I'm wondering if you make it through to the end.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil anything.
yeah. We'll have to watch and find out. See if Afro makes it to the end. So what are your goals with the acting stuff? You want to keep pursuing that? Is that something you want to do?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, sorry, bro. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I'm just go ahead. I was just asking if that's something you wanted to pursue.
Absolutely. Well, this is the second film that I was a part of. I got my first little lucky break. I was in a VH1 movie called The Breaks in 2015 or 2015, I want to say. And that did a nice little successful run, and it turned into a TV show that lasted one season. But they brought me back for the TV show too, so I felt pretty blessed for that. But that was my acting debut, and it was my first experience on the sets and behind and in front of the camera like that. So
yeah.
So I definitely like ever since I was a kid, I had hip hop here, but I always had movies like right there. Like ever since I was a kid, like they're literally my two loves. So I always wanted to be on a screen. Like, oh, I want to do that. I want to, I'd watch Ernest Scared Stupid, or I'd watch, Training Day, or just my favorite movies.
Right.
And
Yeah.
It'd either be Jim Varney or Denzel. I'd be like, yo, I want to do what he's doing. I want to be on the movie screen, but I want to like just admiring them, and say, yeah, I really, that's something I really want to pursue. I want to keep acting. I also want to make movies in the future too, though. I write scripts. I have a bunch stacked up. I have a lot of ideas, have stories, got everything, and I really want to get behind the camera too in a few years. Realistically, I want to give myself some time.
Yeah, nice, man. Yeah, I could definitely see that happening. When you're creative, when you're a creative person, you're gonna make things happen, man. It's just the way it's gonna be. And if you already got scripts, you're gonna want to bring those to life. And now you got resources and friends in the industry and network. So yeah, man, you'll be pulling that off probably sooner than later, man.
I'm excited.
Yeah, man.
You say your name once again?
Nikki.
I love your energy, Nikki. Got the knowledge behind the minds. Love your style too. All world covered. Make a bro want.
Jesus fucking Christ! What the fuck? Oh my God!
Afro, man, I really appreciate you taking the time. Tell everybody where they could find your stuff, follow you, all that good stuff, man.
Yeah, man. I'm on IG, All Flows Official, on YouTube, on pretty much YouTube, Twitter, a good SoundCloud, a good amount of the DSP platforms, the listening platforms is Afro with the dashes. That's the easiest way to find me. YouTube Afro with the dashes. Frothizzle.com is my website. And yeah, that's about it. That's what I could think of.
Awesome, man. Well, thanks, bro. This was awesome talking to you, man. Good luck with everything. And hey, if when you make those movies, if you need like an old white dude with like gray beard, just I will act if you need me to.
Yeah, when I'm casting, I'm looking for everybody. So I'm really easy going. I'm gonna be like, yo, I need you in this role. I need you for years. So
you rock. Thanks, man. Afro, everybody, check him out.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, guys.